Let's see. Player's choice was 3 rounds, right? I can't remember, but I thought Ghost won 2 and Last of Us won 1. Last round was super close then. Neil posted some dumbass tweet and people rallied to vote against. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that was... I mean, people really like Ghost of Tsushima, like a lot of them. I've talked to many people. Ghost of Tsushima was game of the year for them. It was my game of the year, so I get that. But Neil Druckmann, as much as I respect him in some ways, he's lost some of my respect as well because he's embracing this fucking Twitter culture of low-end talking shit, and so the reaction is Ghost of Tsushima fans, people who are anti Last of Us Part 2, but also this strong contingent of fucking gamers who don't like, I guess, the gaming hierarchy of game journalists and game developers who shit on gamers, and so they're going to rally behind that as well. So that's an easy rally to get people to join.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
That him opening his mouth on fucking Twitter thing was stupid.
Retrieving escape pod.
Because Twitter is a fucking cesspool and incentivizes people to be dickheads to each other. Which I'm not above. I've been stuck in that trap before. I think Ghost won all 3. I can't remember. I don't remember, but it won. So, and Neil Druckmann did not expect that result, so he was not happy with it. It's annoying too because Neil Druckmann, I think, could be a little more humble. I guess, like, he did, he didn't even make The Last of Us. He was a co-creator of it, and he gets all the credit for it. Bruce Straley fucking started that project. So annoying. But he does deserve some credit, but now it's just like Neil Druckmann made the whole thing. And so The Last of Us Part 2 is absolutely going to be a masterpiece. And I like The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think it's amazing, but I liked, well, certain aspects of it are amazing on a technical level. But yeah, I liked it, but it definitely has some problems. It's not as good as the first one, in my opinion. In story. The gameplay, of course, is better. It's the same game with more shit to do. What's good? What's up, Simon? Last of Us 2 won damn near everything. Yeah. That was going to happen anyway, though, because of, obviously, the caliber of the game and the fandom of it are fervent. But when you make a game like The Last of Us and how much that's loved, the next game, because it takes so long for it to come out, is kind of an event. And so in that, it's going to be celebrated as such. The big problem, though, people don't, if you look it up in the rules for the Game Awards, and you said everything, so this is just the Game Awards, but kind of shines a light on it. People's votes only account for 10% of the decision. So that tells me that they vote on it, and if they have like a tiebreaker, they don't really know where to go with the votes. They pull in that 10%, it might sway their vote, but like people's votes don't barely affect it. So all that it winning the Game Awards, all that really says is that the committee, of course, was like, well, Neil Druckmann's a great guy, and The Last of Us Part 2, it's The Last of Us Part 2, it's the second one, dude, it's The Last of Us, come on, it's got to win. Which is fine. I mean, does it deserve to win? Sure. But I think a lot of people are just kind of on board with that mentality. I like the second Last of Us more than the first one. Stone me all you want. You're not going to get that from me. Simon, 100% agree. Still haven't played Ghost yet. Got too many games. Ghost of Tsushima is fucking great. It's fantastic. I loved it. I like how they killed off Joel in Last of Us 2. They had balls to kill off a character like that. Very refreshing to see. Yeah, I think the best way to appreciate that game is to play it. It sucks that the leaks ruined that, because people preemptively went into the game angry about that event happening. It really ruined the impact of that part of the story. So yeah, I think that's the big pushback, because people, I told people for years before that game came out they were going to kill him off. Like, that's obvious. Any of these stories that are told where somebody has to look after somebody in a post-apocalyptic world and make sure that they're ready to survive when they're gone, they're going to die. Like, that's just how it always works. The way they did it, though, I think that impact would have been better if people didn't preemptively know it's going to happen in that way. People thought, he's going to have some kind of like heroic death or something like that. But it sets up this idea of hatred, which the game is centered around, but also understand that everybody's a human. It's humanizing everybody's story and where they're coming from. And the real strength of The Last of Us Part 2 is the writing that people downplay, in the sense that if you play a game from beginning to end, you go, who are these people? Oh, I fucking hate this group of people. I hate them. I can't believe they did this. To going, well, fuck, they're humans too. Like, they came from somewhere. And by the time you're playing the end of the game, it's not satisfying, in the sense that you don't want to do this. That whole end sequence, you're just like, fuck, dude. I don't want to commit to this. And that's the point. They're able to change your mind on people and understand that in this situation, shit's fucked for everybody. It's humanizing people, and I think that's the real strength of that story and the writing. Yeah. You're getting stoned with me, Jeremy. Ellie's character got absolutely ruined towards the end of the game, in my opinion. The more I talk with you, the more I'm reminded of how close our views on certain topics are when it comes to games and gaming. Yeah, I mean, I seem to, or we seem to have similar topic. We have similar topics, similar opinions for sure. Which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, you actively talk to me and watch the stuff I put out, so it makes sense. Although, yeah, we play a lot of similar games and have similar opinions. I think that's really comes down to how I always say the word nuance. I'm sick of saying it, but how nuanced you can be about things. A big problem in the gaming community, in my opinion, it's not a problem for them, it's a problem for me, is people, I think, are too black and white about things. I can dislike something but be critical about certain elements and appreciate certain elements, and I can love a game but be critical of certain elements of the game, and I can also just be kind of in the middle, like, yeah, it's fine. And I think a lot of people are just like, nope, fucking sucks. It's the worst game ever. And I think people on like YouTube and shit and game journals for sure, but not the same. People on YouTube can be like that all the time. I'll watch somebody and they're just like, yeah, that game fucking sucks. Someone's like, really? I liked it. And they're like, no, it fucking sucks. I'm like, is this a conversation? Like, you guys just kind of fucking ended it. You put the period at the end of the sentence, you're done. Like, it's over. Where do you go from here? You're just gonna tell each other how much fucking you hate it and how much you like it? Like, it's boring. Let's see, topics are when it comes to games and gaming. I think that was the point of it. It dismantle Ellie completely as we know her. Show us that revenge and chewing on past wrongs will eat you up. No new concept, but Last of Us 2 explored it more than others. Well, yeah, and I think the strength of it was the writing. People complain about Ellie. It's funny because I started playing that game, and I to be honest, I had a predisposition of kind of being annoyed with what I knew from the leaks. That's why it's good that when I beat it, I liked it. Like, right? Like, the game just was strong enough to throw that out the fucking window. But when I started playing the game, people don't like where Ellie went. I don't like how Ellie started. It might be her age or whatever, but she was annoying as a character. I was like, God damn. By the end, like, I felt fucking horrible for her. She loses everything. I know the fandom likes to like celebrate her and Dina, but like she loses Dina too. Like she loses fucking everything in that game, and you just feel like, holy shit, like this is fucking awful. Same thing with Abby. Like no one comes out of that game going like, hell yeah, like things are gonna be all right. It doesn't happen. And those things you could say like, wow, it's just trying to be edgy or whatever. Well, no, it's really exploring loss and regret, and to cherish good things in life, and to humanize people. I mean, that's the core of the game. And so when you're done with the game and you just go, oh shit, okay, I need to rethink things in life. Like, holy fuck. Like I said, the ending isn't satisfying. It's satisfying in a story and in the impact it makes, but it's not satisfying in the sense that like you're not getting the revenge you thought you wanted. It changes your mind, and that's really good writing. Regardless if you like the story or if you fucking hate Neil Druckmann, all that shit. Like it's effective writing. It works. Let's see. Honestly, I thought the moral of Last was pretty similar to God of War. Both were trying to let people know that the cycle of revenge, no, but definitely told it in different ways. Yeah, and that's the great thing too. That's the power of fucking writing. Is you can. I hate when people are like, "It's been done before." Who gives a fuck? Almost everything's been done before. The thing is can you fucking do it effectively? Can you do it entertaining? Can you make it your own? And that matters. Like, you can explore the same shit. You can take the same fucking story, and if you do it well, then who gives a fuck? And that is a great example. Both of them do the exact same thing. And God of War's is satisfying. You get to that end, and you're like, fuck yeah, Kratos is a badass. But oh shit, what's coming next? Whereas Last of Us, you beat it, and you're like, oh my god, dude, holy fuck. Holy shit. What are we as people to lead us to do these horrible things to each other? They're completely different, but the same. So yeah, that's a really good point. Gears of War, God of War. Gears of War for sure. Gears of War for sure. Yes, I'm constantly saying that the leaks definitely had a huge effect on the opinion of the game. A lot of people don't seem to think so. No, 100% did. If those leaks didn't exist, you would have still had people angry that they did it the way they did it. And there's criticisms to do that, but if you didn't know going into it that that was going to happen, the writing would have been more effective because it's designed to do that out of the blue, to hit you in the fucking stomach and go, what the fuck? How'd that happen? Who the hell did this? And then humanize those characters. Whereas if you go into it knowing what's going to happen, you already preemptively don't like those characters. And now they have to work even harder in their writing to fucking change your mind. There's no mystery anymore. And that does impact people's ability to let the writing do what it does, but also even play the fucking game. I know people who won't even touch the game. Which is fine. Don't play the game. You don't have to. But it sucks. Those leaks were detrimental to that game. So yeah. I swish we got a choice at the end to kill or spare her at the end. I get why it was forced, but I definitely feel like they could have done two endings there. They could have, for sure. I do like the ending that they picked, though. But I wouldn't have been opposed to having that choice. I think it would have been interesting. It's like the end of Ghost of Tsushima. The end. I won't talk about it because you said you haven't played it. But the end choice was obvious for me. As soon as it gave, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I have to pick this one. And then most people I know picked the same ending as me, but some people didn't, and their mentality was different. And that was an interesting conversation to have. So it would have been interesting having the same conversation at the end of The Last of Us Part 2. But the conversations for The Last of Us Part 2 almost don't exist. It's just whether you hate the game or not. So just like Cyberpunk, I'm at the point where I don't even like to talk about Cyberpunk anymore because like it revolves around the problems with it and not about the game itself. Which is the game itself, but it just sucks. Agreed, Puppet. I think the main reason Last of Us 2 story connected as badly was it simply wasn't narrated precisely enough. The ending, for example, is super easy to misinterpret and way harder to interpret right. Yeah, but I feel like the ending of the original Last of Us was like that as well. I knew a lot of people who didn't understand what the fuck just happened. But I loved the end of The Last of Us. It had a very No Country for Old Men ending that there's room to interpret there, and you had to take in a lot of the elements. But I don't think. I mean, we live in a time where people think the Marvel movies are masterpieces. Like they're, and if you like them or not, that's fine. Like they're fun action movies, but people like view them as like fine cinema. I've had these arguments with people. It's crazy. And so they're used to being spoon-fed narratives and action and stuff like that, and that's fine. I like that shit too. I like John Wick. It's fun. But when you get a story that makes you have to stop and think a little bit, I think people want to resist, or they're not interested. They're not interested in that. They want to eat, they want to eat something basic and not something that's been prepared and made, well, I guess. I didn't even see the leaks or hear any before playing Last of Us 2. That's good. I'm glad. You got through unscathed. I tried to avoid leaks, but they were so abundant that by the time they got shown to me, I just looked into it because I wanted to know what was going. I was hearing all these rumors about Naughty Dog being like overthrown by fucking Neil Druckmann, which kind of happened, and all these inner politics of the company itself. When I started looking into it, the leaks were all over the place. It was almost impossible to avoid them, so I just fucking ripped the Band-Aid off. So I went in completely blind, which was nice. That's good. Exactly. No spoilers. Speaking of Cyberpunk, I have many problems with the story and choices within the story. Not going to speak on it to not spoil it for you and others, but there's definitely flaws in the story I didn't like. I've heard that. Even though I put 500 hours into 2077 and didn't really enjoy it, the story still has flaws, even though I rate the story a 9 out of 10. I mean, that's good, though. You're fucking rating it super high, but you're still saying there's flaws. I mean, it's good to even make that distinction. I completely stopped playing Cyberpunk. I'm going to wait till the game's actually finished. If it means waiting a whole year, then so be it. I'm on the same page. I want to play the game as close to how they intended me to play it as possible, and I can wait. Although every time they release a hotfix, I've played it a little bit, and I will play it when the big patches come out this month and next month. Because I want to see. I'm trying to like chronicle the progression of making that game complete, I guess. I'm curious as almost just the topic of the game's existence. Just like No Man's Sky, watching that game become what it is now from where it was, I think was very interesting. I think we live in a time where people think the Marvel movies are masterpieces. I thought I was crazy near falling asleep watching Marvel movies. Yeah, I mean, there's people out there who think that they're like high cinema, fucking art house, like masterpieces, and that's not even like a couple people. It's a lot of people, and I think it's mostly like Gen Z, because they've grown up in a time where we're getting like, I swear, around like 2014. Like after that, there's been great movies like by like Denis Villeneuve and all sorts of people, but cinema shifted in a direction where the profits are so, like Fortnite, are so high with certain kind of games that it has disincentivized people in Hollywood to fund projects that aren't going to make that kind of money. And so there is art house movies, there is good movies that exist, but they're, you're getting those from like A24 and other smaller production companies. And I value a lot of that, but yeah, because of the success of superhero movies, everything has to be a shared, ongoing universe or an attempted one. They try to do it with the fucking Universal monsters and shit. And it's I hate it. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I'll just wait until it's fixed.